What a head, son! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll be taking you guys through my very own team selection for the upcoming Blank Game Week 26. So last night saw the conclusion to a very weird kind of double Game Week 25, pretty anticlimactic. All those injuries to the popular options made it quite a bad double game week. So I'll be going over how that affected my overall rank with the double Game Week 25 review to start off the video. Then I'll be jumping into all that blank Game Week 26 goodness, the transfer plan, and the final team selection, where I'm looking to take a -4 or a -8. So let's see how the blank game week kind of plays out after a pretty good double Game Week 25. If you guys want to see my transfer plan, sit back, relax, let's get straight into it. So as mentioned, double Game Week 25, a pretty strange double game week to be honest. The majority of the popular options ended up getting injured, which saw a reduced amount of minutes. So do I think double Game Week 25 or double game weeks in general are overrated? I think I got a little bit unlucky with the injuries for double Game Week 25, but I'm still a big fan of them. Just imagine if a Darwin Núñez or a Jota was fit last night against Luton, they would have absolutely banged, and then I don't think anyone would be complaining. So yes, very unfortunate if you guys had the double up of Jota and Darwin. No one could have predicted injuries, and therefore don't be too hard on yourselves. At least after last night's games, you managed to get a green arrow. If you guys do recall in the transfer plan, a slight red arrow, more of a grey arrow, but now we're sitting on a green arrow to the 40k mark. So that was thanks to a lovely 95 points with a -4, so therefore 91, and a game week rank of 670k. So in terms of the overall points, 1,578, with as mentioned an overall rank of 40k. Now in terms of blank game week 26, we have 1 free transfer and 0.7 left in the bank, and that's why I have to take a -4, actually a -8. But in the comments down below, how did your game week go? I've seen some massive scores, some plus 120 points, but also seen some pretty bad ones, so let me know where you guys are sitting in the overall ranks. Now the first thing I want to talk about is going to be the players that changed from the transfer plan video. I don't want to make this review too long. You guys go check out that previous video as mentioned if you guys want a more in-depth analysis. So let's start off with the double game week teams. So the game on Tuesday night was going to be Man City vs Brentford. I actually had a triple up in that fixture of Kevin De Bruyne, Foden, and triple captain Erling Haaland. So let's start off with KDB. Unfortunately, apparently wasn't even warming up for this fixture, and therefore there was some speculation of a potential injury, and he was the only player that didn't warm up in the game and come off the bench. So unfortunately, we're going to have to settle for De Bruyne's blank in that Chelsea game. I do believe though if he came off the bench, we could have had at least 1 assist. So unlucky, yes, but I guess we did take a little bit of a punt on an injured player, but he had been looking pretty good over the previous game weeks. Now all eyes will be on Pep Guardiola's press conference tomorrow because if Kevin De Bruyne is injured, that's another transfer out, but it seems like it was more precautionary and they just didn't want to risk him. So let's see if he is back for blank game week 26 as I do kind of need him and he is still quite a bit of a differential. Then in terms of Phil Foden, a more popular kind of Man City asset, wasn't too affected that he blanked at the end of the day. At least he got the clean sheet point in the second fixture. So pretty disappointing, I guess double if you guys did go for the Camsey option on him, but I don't really think there's too many people that did that. Our triple captain was going to be Erling Haaland, who scored a goal, luckily, late into that Brentford game, but at least he didn't end up blanking. So that was going to be 10 points, double to 20 if you guys went for the Camsey, triple captain obviously 30 points, which I don't know if I'm too happy about. I always say with the triple Camsey chip, you want a minimum of 15 points. I believe that's kind of the benchmark that you guys should look at for a good option, and anything more than that obviously becomes a great option. All Erling Haaland had to do was score 1 goal in that previous Chelsea game. He had a ton of chances though, so I'm not really worried about the decision. On paper, the stats look pretty strong. What I will say though, is he definitely was the popular option for the triple captaincy, so if you guys didn't go for the armband on him, I'm pretty happy for you, but you might have got away with 1 year with all those big chances he missed. But you guys can let me know in the comments down below, do you think 10 points is good or bad? I think in the previous seasons, the triple captain has actually been pretty good to me. So maybe if you guys have had a bad experience with the chip, 10 points might seem like a haul. For me, as I said, 15 points is probably the minimum, and anything more than that is going to be bonus. So my review of Man City was pretty kind of anticlimactic. Even the 10 points from Erling Haaland wasn't too great, and Kevin De Bruyne missing the second fixture wasn't in my plan. But let's go on to the Liverpool options. Another option not in my plan was Darwin Núñez getting injured. The Jota injury also looked pretty bad, but after that, Darwin was subbed at half time. Now last night, him and Mo Salah weren't even on the bench, so no points came from that game, only the first goal in the first fixture. But probably the savior of the game week was going to be Virgil van Dijk. I spoke about this in the transfer plan, but right at the end of that Brentford game, he hit the crossbar, but he managed to convert one of those headers in the game last night. Now should have actually been on for 2 goals. He had a second chance in the second half that could have been a goal, but was quite well saved by the goalkeeper. But at the end of the day, 6 points for a defensive goal is always coming in clutch, and that 10-pointer from Virgil's extra sweet as I went for him over Doty. So quite a successful evening. All I said was I wanted Big Virg to do one of the big man things, and that's exactly what he ended up doing. So all these points kind of took us from a red arrow or a grey arrow to a nice green arrow, and 40k is a pretty respectable rank. Now I'm going to quickly run through how the rest of the team did. Starting off on our bench, Ariola actually outperformed our goalkeeper Dubravka, 3 points versus 2, so not much in it. But I actually wish I went for Kaminsky as he got a 7-pointer. Garnacho didn't punish us too much with just an assist, but he should have really had a goal in this fixture. Then you have Pedro Porro and Lascelles both with 0 points, Porro obviously injured and Lascelles on the bench. So he spoke about Dubravka, but that Newcastle defense is simply looking terrible, a massive mistake for himself to give Solanke a goal, so maybe he owns him in FPL. Our also double up of Gabriel and Saliba netted us 12 points, one of the only teams to actually keep a clean sheet. Then our midfield department, Richarlison matched De Bruyne with only 2 points, pretty disappointing from the Brazilian. Ali Saka though with another double-digit return, 15 massive points, really seems to be on form at the moment. Then our final striker, Dom Solanke with a 12-pointer, this could have been so much more, as he missed 2 big chances in the first half. One also thing to add is I just wish that I kept Ollie Watkins obviously, took him out for Darwin Núñez, he ended up hauling, but we didn't know that Darwin would have got injured. So at the end of the day, I want to put double game week 25 behind us. I'll reminisce about it though with that green arrow. Very unfortunate if you guys got a red arrow on a chip activation. Managed to avoid that achievement being unlocked, it's a very special achievement. But because Erling Haaland was triple captain by so many options, not the end of the world. But you guys can let me know how bad this game week was or how great this game week was. As mentioned, some massive points I've seen, but also some pretty low ones. Now before we go over the actual transfer plan, I'm going to do the team selection or the initial team selection review right now. I just want to showcase to you guys why I'm taking a -4 hit. Then I'll be going over which transfers I make with the -4 or the -8 before rounding off the video with the final team. Now just remember, I do have 1 free transfer and 0.7 left in the bank, but I am looking to make 2 or 3 moves. Now on our bench is pretty kind of scarce. I've got Dubravka and Lascelles both with the Arsenal game. Even if Lascelles was playing, don't even know if I want to play him, but I'm pretty sure he'll be benched to Botman and also Shaw. Then I got the double up in the Spurs assets Richarlison and Porro, who won't feature as they have a blank game week. Now I've put Ariola between the sticks, but I don't really rely on him to get many points. I just believe it's a better fixture than the Dubravka one. Let's hope he at least gets some saves. Now in terms of the rest of our starting 11, I do actually have 2 players currently that are blanking, and that's Virgil van Dijk and Darwin Núñez, and that's why I have to take a -4 to get a full starting 11. Now I said this in the transfer plan, but if you guys are taking out a blank player, hits are half price. That's just because the player you bring in should theoretically get 2 appearance points, so that takes away from the -4. So both these 2 assets will probably be transferred out as long as there's no other injuries, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on. Now completing our defensive department, it's me the double up of Gabriel and Saliba. Not the best fixture in the world. You guys would have seen Newcastle's attacking stats in the ultimate guide are pretty strong, but Arsenal's defensive numbers are the best in the Prem. So let's see if Gabriel and Saliba can maybe get us a clean sheet, but I'll take some attacking returns off those set pieces. Now the only department of our starting 11 that is complete is our midfield department, at least at the moment, with no injuries. The first player, Garnacho, kind of our differential for blank game week 26. He has Fulham at home, not the best fixture in the world, but not the worst. And United are on the uptrend. Then we have Saka against Newcastle, and outside Campsey punt if you guys want to go there. Newcastle's defensive form is terrible, and Arsenal are attacking well at the moment. We then have our double up in the Man City options, Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden. Now as mentioned, all eyes on the press conference tomorrow for Pep. It was a precaution that Kevin De Bruyne missed out in the midweek fixture, but fingers crossed he's fine for the weekend. I do think against Luton next week he'll also be rested, so I do feel like he's going to start this game and the next one against United if he's fit. So let's see if he is. Then in terms of Phil Foden, going nowhere, yes he might be rested, but currently I do believe he's in the strongest starting 11, and Bournemouth have been improving recently. Now matching Darwin Núñez is going to be Dom Solanke against Man City, and then playing him is going to be Erling Haaland, our captain against Bournemouth. I just believe he's the safest Campsey option, as I do believe Man City will score a few goals. So yes, might not be in the form that Saka is at the current moment, but I just trust him more as an FPL asset. Then in terms of Dom Solanke, I have him, so I'm going to keep him with that double game week 28 approaching, and Man City have been conceding the odd goal, so let's hope Dom Solanke gets it. So excluding the 2 kind of blank options, I don't think the team looks that bad. Yes, I would love to bring in maybe a Wolves option, but our midfield department is complete at the moment, and I might want to keep Richarlison for blank game week 29. So let's see what chances we can make to get a full starting 11. I'm fine at taking a -4 or -8, but anything more than that, you guys might want to consider using a chip. So going on to our transfer plan, and the first transfer that's almost locked in is going to be for a striker by the name of Ollie Watkins. The reason for this, I've mentioned this Aston Villa play in Blank Game Week 26 as well as Blank Game Week 29. Between that, they have Luton and Spurs, and those fixtures aren't too shabby, and that's why Ollie Watkins is a shoo-in to bring in. Now the player that will be departing will be Darwin Núñez, as mentioned in the Blank Game Week. He is then as Nottingham Forest and then Man City, but will he even be fit for that after the Carabao Cup final? So just kind of a no-brainer at the moment. I'm getting a player that plays in both blanks, but I can't do this in one free transfer. So we'll therefore need some funds, and the funds will come from a defensive downgrade. Thank you Virgil van Dijk for what you did for the team in Double Game Week 25. You will be remembered. So with Virgil departing, I can afford basically anyone that I want, but I'll be going for an Aston Villa defender, and that's Pau Torres at 4.6 million. So quite a lot in the bank that will remain after these two transfers, but there's no other option I really want from the defensive department. Now you guys will be asking me why I'm not going for an Alex Moreno or Matty Cash in the fullback positions, and that's just because I need the player for Blank Game Week 29 and those options are nailed. Whereas Pau Torres played the full game in Game Week 25, and therefore I believe he should be fit, and when he is fit, one of the main defenders in that Aston Villa side. Now might not be the best defensive outlet or those injuries at the current moment, but I still believe they might get some results, and at least he plays in both the blanks. So these two transfers are pretty nailed. They've continued from the transfer plan. I haven't really changed my mind that much, but please wait for the press conferences to see if everyone's fit. Talking about those press conferences, all eyes on Pep and De Bruyne, as if he is out, I might be forced to make a transfer out. So this will then be for a -8 hit, so 3 transfers, but only 1 free transfer. And there are a few options, but I might go budget for the replacement. So currently I'm favoring Hwang Chan or Bailey. I spoke about these options in depth in the Ultimate Guide yesterday, so go check that video out for the comparison if you guys want to. Now with my chip strategy, not free hitting in Game Week 29's blank, I am siding towards Bailey slightly. Both options are obviously great. I still might go for Hwang Chan even if I don't want to use the free hit. But if I do go for an Aston Villa asset, I do prefer Bailey over Douglas Luiz. But obviously this transfer will only be done if De Bruyne is out injured. Fingers crossed that he's not. So what I want to do now is showcase the final team selection to you guys. After making that -4, I'm only going to consider the first 2 moves, so I'll keep De Bruyne for this team selection. So the 2 players departing will be Virgil van Dijk as well as Darwin Núñez. The players I bring in will be Pau Torres and Ollie Watkins, and that leaves me with 1.3 in the bank. Now I've just put the -1 for the transfers as mentioned, a -4 hit. I don't really mind that with both these 2 options playing in Blank Game Week 26 and 29. So let me know what you think about the final team. Are you guys going for differential captain with someone like a Saka or a Hwang? Let's see if Kevin De Bruyne is fit, which I hope he is, because he's a great option for the Bournemouth away game. Otherwise, Pau Torres and Ollie Watkins have a fine fixture against Forest. I think that both of them could actually get some returns. Now, if you guys have any team selection dilemmas, comment them down below, or my Discord server where I'm slightly more active. It's the second link in the description. Let's see if Blank Game Week 26 can revive us from the dreadful game week that was Double Game Week 25. Fingers crossed no more injuries. Now I'll be announcing my final team selection in the deadline stream coming up on Saturday, 1 hour before the deadline. Hopefully I see you guys there. But this is basically going to wrap up the video, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like if you did and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. As mentioned, deadline stream, hopefully I see you guys there. But for the time being, I'm signing off. This has been Dayvy FPL and I'm out. Cheers, bye.